An extra space to speak your mind with Cornwall Mind.
Welcome to an extra space to speak your mind for Suicide Prevention Day. I'm Richard, and in recognition of the day, a new app is being launched to support those who are grieving the loss of a loved one to suicide. Amelia Wrighton is the founder of Suicide & Co, who have designed an app which provides access to tailored tools such as journaling, exercises for sleep, a daily mood tracker, and more. And she joins me now. So thanks for being here, Amelia.
Thank you for having me, Richard.
Would you mind telling me a bit about your story and what came to you getting the idea for creating this app?
Absolutely. As you said, I'm one of the co-founders of the charity Suicide & Co. And that was really brought about from my own lived experience of suicide loss when I lost my mum to suicide in 2011. And I had a sort of 8-year period of finding it incredibly hard to navigate that grief. I then met a friend and she'd gone through a similar experience, and we decided to start the charity Suicide & Co. in 2020. Now, back then, we focused on one-to-one support, counselling and casework, which we still run today. But the idea for the app has really come about because we've been growing so quickly as a national charity, and we wanted to put something out there that could support everyone instantly. And that really was going to be technology. And then a team who had kind of built the original app through volunteer work came to us, and it was the perfect fit. So over the last couple of years, we've been developing the app. And really the idea behind it is to be with people at any moment in the day where they could have a wave of grief that becomes overwhelming and other services aren't there to support. And instead, the app can empower them to support themselves.
An app is a great idea as well because it's always with us, always on our phones and easy access, and so many people are using them for different things. So just tell me about what the app is and how it works.
Sure. So people can download it for free. They immediately kind of sign up. And then when you get into the app, you can explore a load of different resources. So you mentioned a few things like exercises around sleep, stress or anxiety. There are both individual exercises, but also programs that can kind of be timed over a week, let's say. There's also lots of articles around books and podcasts related to suicide-related grief, which can be useful to find. And that's an area people can personalize by the relationship type, so if they've lost a parent or a sibling. There's also a mood tracker and there's a journal feature, and both of those features I love because we know that grief is a lifelong journey for many of us, and the ability to put those thoughts in one place and then actually maybe look back on them in a few months and think of the progress you've made or the progress you haven't made and the support you may need. I think it's amazing. And there's a toolkit that sits on top of all of it, which means that you can save your favourite exercises and your favourite articles. So it really feels like a safe space that's just tailored to you and your grief journey.
Also, what I like about it as well is the fact that you can access it anytime. And I think this is the thing with a lot of services, we're very time dependent on whether someone's available. And I think having something on hand at any time, what does that mean to you that you can have that sort of facility?
I think it's pretty life-changing because I can think of moments in my grief journey when, I was at a party, but on the bathroom floor having a moment thinking, oh my God, I feel so overwhelmed in my loss. And at that point, it wasn't just the time of other services, but it was the mode of support. I didn't want to call a helpline, or I couldn't because there were people around, but I could be on my phone. I could look at a resource, take a moment to read an affirmation. I could do that. And I can think of other moments. I struggled with sleep so much when I was first bereaved, and to be able to look at something in the middle of the night and have that support. Yes, you could call Samaritans, but there are very few services available at that time of day. So I think it's really life-changing to feel like you've always got company through this app. That is what we want people to feel like, whatever moment they are in, whether they're in their office, on their own, in a busy street, at a party, they've got this and it's there and it can support them.
And we are recognising Suicide Prevention Day today. For you, you've obviously been on your own journey, and everyone goes through a different path and there's different times that they feel they're able to get support. But what advice would you give to anyone who has lost someone to suicide?
My first piece of advice today would be to download the app. I think that there's often a feeling in this community, having worked in this space for 5 years, that we're not deserving of support, or I'm not in crisis myself, or I'm not feeling like this. But actually, we all deserve support, whatever that is. And so I would really give the piece of advice to download the app today and start that support journey. There might just be one feature of it that's useful, but I think that we need to take care of ourselves a little bit better in these journeys, and we need to start looking at support as added value, not as something that we're self-prescribing we don't need or we're not sad enough for. A grieving journey is incredibly hard to navigate, and we should try everything we can to make that a little bit easier.
I wonder if you could tell me a little bit more about the charity itself and also the services you provide. I'm thinking in mind for those that are maybe supporting others that are going through that journey.
Yes, exactly. Well, I'll start there for you, Richard. So for those who are supporting somebody bereaved by suicide, my two top things I'd say to look at is our Instagram and social media channels have a lot of resources for that audience. And also we have a specific guide called our Conversation Guide, which helps navigate conversations around suicide loss better. For anybody bereaved by suicide, that could be any relationship type, a friend, a colleague or a family member or loved one, we have one-to-one services on offer. So we have a counselling service that offers 12 sessions of counselling completely free of charge to anybody living in the country over the age of 18. And we also have a team of suicide bereavement advisors, and they provide more flexible support and more like casework that kind of can really support people in those early days of loss. And now that the app's there, I love to talk about our digital resources as well, but everything that's on the website is now also in the app pretty much.
Can you tell me a bit more about those digital resources that you have?
Sure. So we have an area that we call our Help Hub. It's on the app and it's on the website. And what we've done is we have heroed lived experience. So we have a couple of lived experience collections. One's written called Words Unspoken, where people have written retrospective letters to their loved ones. We've got another project called Always in Company, where people have shared photos of what company looks like to them in moments of loss. And then we've got resources that we've signposted to. There are many guidance leaflets, and there are also other services that don't do what we do, things like peer-to-peer that we signpost to. And then we also curate those softer resources like books and podcasts. We have a podcast of our own. It's incredible the support that people can get through these easy to access modes of content. We're living in that content world where that is how we're engaging and how we're learning with a lot of these things. So we've signposted to a lot of those resources as well, because I think that they can be incredibly helpful for people in their journeys. So head to our website, it's suicideandco.org. The app is right there, but if you're just wanting to download the app as well, you can just go straight to the App Store, whatever that is on your device.
And they just search for Suicide & Co, do they?
Yes, they type in Suicide & Co, type it in with the ampersand, and then it comes up, or just head to our website and the link's straight there.
That's Amelia Wrighton, who is the founder of Suicide & Co, joining us in recognition of Suicide Prevention Day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thanks again to Amelia for joining me here for a special A Space to Speak Your Mind in recognition of Suicide Prevention Day.
An extra space to speak your mind with Cornwall Mind.